What's worse, prison or a sitcom? No, I'm kidding.
Prison or living in California under Gavin Newsom? I think prison, because at least you know what you get on Saturdays. You know, a pretty good meal. But anyway, the
All
guy.
right.
So I did this whole thing, and I did a Showtime special, Men Are Pigs, and that was when No Time. It's like Netflix. It was huge for them. Came out here. I did the 5 o'clock funnies. Remember that? Gino Michelini.
Very much, I remember it.
And I got, instead of 50 calls, I got like 8,000 calls. Who was that guy grunting talking about lawnmowers? Because it was really weird. So I started hooking up here. Then Disney wanted to have me do Turner and Hooch. I said, well, I already do it. Hanks is doing that.
Right.
Well, how about Dead Poet Society? It's Robin Williams. They wanted me to do a sitcom based on that. So greatest day in my life, I walked away from Jeffrey Katzenberg, who I adore, great guy. And I said, I walked out of the room and says, well, thanks. And he goes, the whole room was just stunned. We're offering you a deal at Disney. I mean, a holding deal or whatever they think it was. They had no idea what kind of money I was making on the road. So they were offering me like a week. You know, they didn't know that. So he calls me back in Detroit and he goes, did you just fly back there? And I go, yeah, I got to go through the South again. He goes, do you know we offered you? And I go, yeah, again, it was really a good idea, but I don't. And I'm not interested. He says, nobody says no to me. I've never had anybody say no.
Yeah.
He says, what would you want to do? I said, look, I like This Old House. I think that's a funny show. If I could do a show where it's I want to break things instead of fix things, blah, blah, blah. They do the show, get the thing. I'm a big star. Carson, people call me. Macaulay goes, he'd like to have you on the show. I said, well, I want to do the damn show as a TV guy. He goes, what do you mean? I want to do stand-up. So I'm standing there in the back, and he goes, well, go out and do some stand-up. Okay. You know what to stand and everything? I had no idea what to do. Walked out, curtain hit me in the back of the head because I didn't walk far enough out to the star. And I bombed. I frickin' bombed.
But that's also backwards because most people, me, it was one of them, was doing stand-up, and I couldn't wait for the day when they said, you're big enough just to sit down.
Right.
Which is what I used to do with Leno, but I
Right.
was older and had my own show by then. But I would have died if they would said, you don't have to do stand-up, or you wanted to do stand-up.
That's all, because I saw all the guys,
so funny.
All Buddy Hackett, all that era I loved. Johnny sits down after I bombed, and he looks at me in between breaks. He goes, I hope you're funnier than that.
Whoa.
And I told him what the story.
Really?
I told him the story, and he goes, you know what? Come back next week. Do your stand-up fresh. I came back the week after that, killed but I was, already sitting down.
He was good to comics like that.
He really was.
I'm not sure ex-wives would say
No.
good. What's the word?
Not real connective after the show.
No. I mean, Johnny, as Ed said, Johnny packs a tight suitcase.
Yeah.
And also, for many years, was a drinker. And a mean one.
Well, who is it?
Me.
Oh, well,
I don't. Do you get mean when you drink?
I've been sober now 30 years, and I know I ever wasn't a mean drinker. I was just a
there you
long-range
go.
drinker.
What does that mean?
You don't ever lay it up. 3 in the morning, everybody's going, we should hit the sack. I think I got a couple more hours in.
Yeah, but that's when you're young. You can put
No,
your
that
body...
was 30 years ago.
It's 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, you were...
It was tough for me to manage. I didn't, as I said, as most guys like me, if a little is good, a lot's got to be better.
Some is good, more is better, too much is just right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the American motto.
That's the motto,
I feel like.
yeah.
But I mean, I think kids, if any kids are watching this and they're in their 20s, they have this idea that when you're in your 40s, you're already over the hill because they see mom and dad, and it's like, and no, if you want to be a party animal in your 40s, I promise you, it's easy.
It's easy.
In fact, it's fun because you're a full grown-ass man or woman, I guess, could do it too, but for me, and now you know what life is. You're an adult. You have some money. You can be Frank Sinatra in 1960. It's awesome. But when you're doing it when you're 22 or 25, you don't have any game. You're dumb. You don't have any money. You just don't know what you're doing, and you can't pull it off.
I drank when I was 11 years old. When I was a kid, I watched cowboy movies. I used to love when they still don't understand that. The cowboys get on the horse and and they're sweating. They go into the saloon. They pour that brown liquor and they and they get back on the horse. And as a kid, I'm going, that shit must be very refreshing. So I took a big jigger of Jim Beam, and it's like I drank gasoline. I was choking. I thought I was going to die. Any normal people would have said, I'm never going to drink again because that's horrible. I just said, I can get used to that with a little sugar in it. You know, I kept getting, and then I would drink, and it never affected me. All my buddies are vomiting or passing out and getting in trouble with their parents. It never affected me. I would get used to it. It never was enough, never was not enough. It just didn't, I never said no to a drink. And I used to say, early on when I wanted to see do I have a problem with alcohol? So I took a test, which was very funny. You take a test from Johns Hopkins, I think it was, to see if you were a problem drinker. And do you ever lie about the number of drinks you had? It depends on what you see by lying. So you are lying. Have you ever not gone to a party because they didn't have any? And I went, oh yeah. There's been a lot of weddings I've gone to, and they said it's beer and wine. I went, I don't like either one, so I'm not going to the wedding.
Right.
So I decided on that. And at the very end, you had these, 50 questions, let's say. And, and I kind of cheated on some. I gave them some, I thought I 10 out of 50, I admitted. And the bottom says, if you're taking a test to wonder if you have a problem with drinking, you've already answered your question. And I went, fuck, I got tricked by that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I remember fairly vividly the last time I overdrank, and I was in my 50s. So it wasn't like a long, long time ago. I mean, it was just too old. I was at a party, I think it was awards week when the people think we're always partying out here. We're not. As my friend Jimmy says, every star I know is blown and in bed by 9:30.
That's right.
But there's a couple of weeks around award shows when there are good parties.
Yeah, you bet.
And I was there, and Danny McBride, I love him, but his wife kept bringing over these shots, and the more you have, the more you forget how much you've had. And I mean, I was probably 55 or something, and I came home that night. My poor girlfriend at the time was supposed to meet me at the party. I seem to remember insulting the people she was with, just being drunk and thinking it was funny, and it wasn't. And got home, and they had to carry me from the driveway. I spilled out of the car, and she and my security brother in arms picked me up. I mean, that's way too late in life to do that. And it was the last time I ever did something like that. But and kids, again, the message here, keep partying. Don't think you're done when you're 35.
Get an Uber.
Yeah.
I said that was...
Well, I wasn't driving for
all the attention I had when I was really struggling with this. How do people manage it? Why are there people like me? And then I've known a bunch of comedians and a bunch of friends that struggle with weight. They do not know how to stop eating. I don't have that affliction.
I don't either.
If I take I have a buddy who says, how do you eat ice cream like that? Sometimes, because I can, after I dinner, if no one's around, I don't do this in front of people, I take a little thing of Haagen-Dazs and I'll take a couple spoonfuls out of the thing, but in the bowl. I like it.
You look like you're wearing the same clothes you did when you were on Politically Incorrect.
Right. Well, as I said, that food isn't my thing.
Right.
He said, if I started eating ice cream, I'd finish the tub. And I go, hey, I don't, I take a couple taste buds, I'm fine with it, then I put it away. I never knew and it was never that way with drinking and drugs. It's not I never knew. There was never enough.
Me neither. But